Hey, so welcome back. I'm continuing work on my 1966 Volkswagen Beetle restoration. If you've seen our previous videos, you know that we're to the point where we're getting the floor pans ready to go in, getting them fitted and whatnot. I'm working on a few details before I weld the pans in. The big one is I want to get the driver's seat rail moved back. You can move it back 3 or 4 inches because I need all the leg room I can get. When I was driving the Bug before, I tore it apart. It was very tight for me to get in and out of the car. So I want to take advantage of this situation and move the seat rail back. So I'm drilling out the spot welds and then I'll weld the seat pan back in, seat rails back in. You saw in the last video, if you saw the last video, you know I had to fix the Napoleon's hat, and I just made another change to that. I added a little support for the front of the floor pan here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I added this little piece right here to go under here, and then I'll be able to spot weld down into that, and that'll give that some extra support. That's what that little bump out is for on the original side. So I didn't feel like I had to fabricate that whole thing, so I just took a piece of steel and made a 90 and spot welded it in there and welded it up top here. So that'll work. I still have to drill these out so that the bolts can come up through here and into the firewall. But today's project is getting these floor pans ready to go in and maybe tack them in. So let's start with that seat pan. I'll show you what I got going. I've drilled out some of the spot welds. I'm just using a regular drill bit, and I'm trying not to go through the pan. I'm just trying to go through the, and then I got this curved screwdriver, and I just get up under there. So you see I got this side, I got one here in the front that's needing to come out. Oh, there it goes. So now this side and the whole front is free. I'm going to flip the pan around and get to that side, and then I'm going to move it back to about here, which, like I said, is going to give me 3 or 4 more inches of leg room. So let me set you guys down and we'll get working on that. Alright, I got this side clamped down, grinded. I think it's ready to burn in. I got the seat frame moved. Took me a few tries, but I was able to move it back from here is where it was down to here. So I gained about 3 inches. It's just tech screwed in. You can probably see I welded it in. It wasn't right. I had to grind it all off, and kind of a mess. Again, I'm no professional. I'm just trying to show what it takes to do one of these cars. And I got through it. I'll zip the frame in and I'll have extra leg room. It'll be great. So now I'm trying to clean up this lip as best I can. Trying to clean up this lip as best I can, because we're going to be welding in the floor pan soon. So over here I've tried all different. Let's see, I started with this little die grinder. So I went from the 60 grit die grinder. I tried all these different things that I have for drills, and didn't try that one obviously, but I did use this one. But the knotted brush is the way to go on a angle grinder. This sucker right here means business. So we got to get this as clean, as rust free as possible if we want to get good welds. You get the idea. Sometimes I feel like I'm obsessing with this stuff, and then other times I feel like I'm trying to rush and not taking my time. That's what happened with the seat frame. It's a combination of both. You got to take your time, do a good job, but you also got to move the project along, get things done. Oh yeah, I tried this too. That didn't work too good. All right, I'll bring you back before I found some weld through primer. This stuff's like unicorns. You used to be able to buy this everywhere. I went to 5 auto parts stores the other day. Nobody had it. Most of them didn't even know what it was. So I had to order this online, but we're going to treat all of this with weld through primer. And weld through primer is just that. It's primer you can weld through. So that'll protect the metal and also allow me to get a good weld in there. So I'll bring you back for that. Yeah, so that knotted brush is the way to go. I mean, get some primer on that, and that's ready to go. Okay, next up is I got to put all these holes in here for the spot weld. So I picked up this deal. I don't know, I've seen a couple other guys using it. Thought I'd give it a try. I know they make an air tool for this. I wish I had that, but I'll try this. I marked every 2 inches I decided I'm going to go. And this has a depth gauge right here. I don't know if you can see that. You just rest that over here. You can take the screw in and out and move it. I got it set to a 1/4 inch. That lip is a 1/2 inch on the car, so just open it up, push it all the way in, snap it. See, it gives you a good hole. So do this, I don't know, 100 times. Whatever it is. A lot better than drilling holes. Okay, now I got the car lifted up, down off the lift, because again the lift was interfering with the floor pans where it dips down right here. The cross members, I don't know, of the lift were preventing me from getting the pan all the way down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack it in a few spots, make sure I like the fit, and then zip it in. All right, try to get this. That's good there. That'll pound in. See if this is going to go. Might have to get a bigger drill bit. That looks good. I think it'll work. Get that in a little, pound that in with a hammer. All right, so I pulled this one in with a strap to try to get it. Had to bang this back a little. Just that was hitting before, this was where it wanted to be. So I banged that back, put the strap on here. The front's pretty good. And I got a few screws in it. I do have to take it out and grind off. I forgot to grind all the holes off so that we can tack weld. I just got this one done. So the passenger side, see I grinded all those off, is ready to go in. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I'm fitting the passenger side pan, and you can see it's way too far away over here. That's a good 3/8 of an inch. I mean, my holes aren't even. You can see daylight through there. So that's not going to work. That edge right there wants to be right up against that tunnel. But here's the problem. Just to clarify, these pans are from CIP1. In a previous video, I was unsure if they were CIP or Wolfsburg West. I got the heater channels from Wolfsburg West, and I got these from CIP1. They're supposed to be their best quality pans. But you see that little deal right there? If this piece was over tight with that, that would bring this over, that would bring that way. So I got to fuss with this, I guess. Cut the end of this off so that this whole thing can go over more. Because I thought maybe it was, and I may also have to cut the end of that little deal off there on the chassis right here. I don't know. That's something I want to do. Because this all fits nice in there. It's just if this, I'm not about to drill these spot welds out and move this whole piece over. That's not going to happen. But this, I got to get that over there more. So more fun and games. I hacked the. All right, what I did is I hacked the about 3/8 of an inch off the end of each of these little. I don't know what these are called. I hope I don't regret this. But I did it on this side as well, and I banged this whole thing up a little bit, and look how close I am on there. So I'm gonna tack that in with some Tech screws, some self-tapping screws, and I'm gonna try that other one again. I've taken that one off and sanded all the holes down, so hopefully we're there, right? I hope so. I'm pretty sure this is where they're going, so welding next. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to take some measurements before I weld everything in. I found this chart on the Samba. It kind of gives all the measurements. So between that bolt hole, which is this one over here, up here, and this one on this floor pan is supposed to be 45 3/4. So what I've done is I've clamped down a square that'll get me something to pull on against. So I gotta make sure those are plumb. So I've got them Tech screwed down. Just put a couple Tech screws in each pan. And I got my squares on the holes here. We're supposed to be 45 3/4. I don't know, I say that's close enough. So steady. We're about 45 5/8. I'm pretty sure 1/8 of an inch is good enough, close enough. Things are going to move a little bit. These holes are oblong anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it as close to perfect as you can get it. So I'm good with it. Next step. Okay, on this end I got the 2 squares set up. And what I did is I made a mark in the middle of the tunnel. And I measured from there to there 16 inches from here to here. The overall is supposed to be 31 3/4, so that means from here to here should be 15 3/4. So if I hold that plumb, I'm just eyeballing that, so that gives me 15 3/4 within 1/8 of an inch. So I think we're in good shape. Now all we got to do is get this thing welded down properly. Okay, it's going pretty good. I got a few spot welds in there. The goal is to get good penetration and not have a big, you want a flat weld. So you see I'm spacing things out a bit and going every other one or every third one and then coming back. So just keep going. Spot welds and the spot welding will be done. Pretty pleased with it. Now I got to stitch that in. I got to weld over here, and I got to stitch all that in. I still got to clean all that up. I didn't do it before I put the pans on. Probably should have, but that's all right. I'll get it. Burned it in pretty good, I believe. So, are we going to call this side done now? I think we should. But we still got that side. little touching up to do, but overall I'm pretty happy with the welds. I'll clean them up a little bit, not too much. Don't need to clean them up too much. I don't want to take more weld off than I have to. And then I got a couple other little things to patch up here and there. Seam seal it, prime it, seam seal it, paint it. So that's going to wrap this one up. My main goal of this video is just to encourage people that have never tried something like this before. This is the first time I've ever done a bug, first time I've ever done these floor pans. Taking your time is the hardest part, but it's the most important part. So take your time, measure things, fit things, make sure everything's right. Using the self-tapping screws to put everything in place is a real good way to check things and make sure everything's right. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks again for watching. See you next time from White Pine Woods. Next time, I guess, maybe painting. I don't know. We'll see. So long.